guys spending your pandemic? I'm over here banging my head against the computer. I just bought a whiteboard now so I can plot, plan, and try to figure out my thoughts as I move and program throughout these new routes that I'm trying to create and innovate on. And it's been a very interesting and wild and honestly heartbreaking experience, as I've seen a lot of people impacted by this virus. I've seen a lot of economic impact, and I've seen a lot of deaths, and even in my own family, it's been just brutal. And I that's a reason why I have been gone. But I come back and I want to make an impact, and I want to do right by my community. I want to do right by my country, and I want to do right by the world as much as I can. As the way I feel like I can actually do that in my smallest way is by contributing through teaching and helping other people innovate and create, and by actually innovating and creating my own solutions to push my own boundaries and what I am able to do so I can grow and build better solutions in the future. And the only way that you're actually going to be able to do that is you got to get your hands dirty. So I put up my sleeves, and you know what? I started coding, and I built this wonderful dashboard right here. This is trying to tell a story of the COVID-19 data, of what is going on in the world around us, because you can hear, the left say one thing, you can hear the right say another thing, you can hear wild people from every corner, but all I gotta say is read what is actually coming out with the facts. And the thing is you need to listen to the scientists, but the scientists need to listen to the data, and we need to be able to provide this data to the scientists so that they can make educated hypotheses and conclusions and build upon it so that they can find solutions to this pandemic so that we never have to go through something like this ever again. And the way I want to do this, the way I want to contribute, is I want to teach other people how to build out Dash applications to the scale that I really want to push them towards. Dash is operating in this unique realm right now in Flask, in my opinion. I feel like Dash is a very underused and not really understood application that really could be stretched and pushed a lot farther than it currently is. And diving into it, a quick, easy way to create dashboards and connect to a React component, that's kind of crazy. So you're going through Python, through JSON, and then that JSON is going to React, and then that React is creating a component, and then it's shooting it back to Python in JSON. That's crazy. So I really think that you can push the boundaries, and I've seen how fast some React applications can be, and I want to see how fast I can make this become. And I think I might have done it. I still have some work to do, and this is still a work in progress. This is just a first video, okay? This is a big project. It takes me time to build this out. That's why I haven't been publishing, and here we are. And this is what I have to show. And with this, we have our first dashboard, which is pulling data from an API, and I'll dive into the code for the nerds at the very end. But first, I'm going to just showcase the application. You can get to it in the link in the description down below, as well as eventually I'll release the course on Udemy of how I built this out. So for this, we have our confirmed cases. Our confirmed cases is just looking nasty, just looking at the data. And last week we were at 1 million, and then this week we're at, about 2 million. So I think it's definitely slowed down, but it's still just really bad depending on where you're at. And the US is, right here. We can kind of hover over this. So we can get different data points of like how many people have, confirmed it or have the case. Where is it really bad at? It looks like it's really bad in Louisiana. It looks like it's really bad in Florida. It looks like it's really bad in Chicago. It looks like it's really bad in New York, of course. And you can honestly flick these on or off. You could take pictures and stuff from up here if you want to. And then you can come over here. We could see what Europe's doing. Europe's just looking, I'm sorry for Europe. I got a lot of friends and family out in Europe, and I'm worried for you guys. Please stay safe. I tried to send as many masks as I could, as early as I could, to as many people in Europe as possible, because, I love you guys out in Europe, and I want you guys to stay safe out there. But it's interesting to see the growth in some of these countries. I'm interested to see which countries do extremely well. It might be some of these really small ones, because you can see like Austria right now has very few cases. Switzerland, they are doing amazing. Belgium's doing amazing. Netherlands is doing amazing. Ireland, I don't know what Ireland's doing, but keep it up. You know what? Maybe you don't need to be part of the United Kingdom right now, Ireland. I think right now you just need to shut down because that's a big difference between you guys. I don't know how many people live in the respective realms, but just want to point that out. So, like I said, you get to tell these unique stories from the data, and this is very basic, and I'm going to build upon it. The other unique thing that I found is that, at least from what this API is being up in the pool, the China cases don't grow. So China's lying. So that's something to note. Just saying. So don't try to plot anything on China. You're not going to get the real numbers. Just focus on Europe, focus in on the U.S., and if you can, focus in on other countries like in Africa, or if you can get accurate data. So for the US map, I built this out. This is kind of interesting. On the left, we have the scale. So we can scale this up or down, and it reacts in real time. So as you can see, it made it smaller. If I want to make it really small, I can go up here, make it really small, or as far as 1,000 is. This is whenever I built it, and it was really small, but it just keeps on growing. It's all New York. But yeah, so the respective thing that it does is it takes the numbers, it divides it by this number, and then it plots a bubble around that. So for zooming in, you can kind of dive into Los Angeles. You can see your cases, and you can flick these on and off, which is dates and recovered. You can just see the U.S. cases, and we can see that we got in Los Angeles, y'all have 8,000 cases right now. I know Houston was at 3,000. I'm gonna just go over to Houston, H-Town. H-Town's at 3,500. Y'all stay safe. Dallas has a few cases too. New Orleans, yeah, y'all really need to stay safe. We don't need that. And then it looks like Miami is just really getting destroyed right now, so I would stay out of there. I think it was because of spring break. And that's it. So you got a bunch of cases in Illinois. I think Chicago's got a lot of cases over here. But on the right-hand side, I built out this bar chart. This is a stack bar chart. I thought it was able to kind of tell the story a little bit better, where we can go from the days, and it works up. And I think it was 8 days in the past, and you can kind of see the area that this data is, and you can see that the confirmed cases and how much it's contributing to the growth. So there's a big block right here because this big block is New York. And then you can kind of see all the other smaller cases and how much they're contributing to our overall case numbers. So I thought that was a good way to kind of tell the data. And then over here, we have our global snapshot. The global snapshot was a very interesting project because I got to work with animating different frames within a dashboard, and I think that this is going to be a fun one to really teach and show. And for this reason, I built out this, which is this graph, and you can kind of animate the growth. So I'm going to just go over to an area. This is the initial growth at this time. So what we are looking at whenever we first bring up the graph is we're looking at the date of 03/23/2020. This is as far back as we can go. We can see that the cases at this day were right here. So this is in the yellow. And if we click this play button, we can kind of see the growth. And I'm just going to let that go. So it goes in reverse, but you can kind of see, so from the initial working back, we can see what is going on. And you can kind of move to whatever area that you're at. And you can zoom in more if you want, but it takes a little bit of time because it's animating from, from back, and I might change it to go from reverse to back, but that's just currently how it is. So that's how we can see that. So we can see from the initial stage to what it's actually grown to. So it makes a big difference. It's scary. It's scary stuff. And I want to continue to build more graphs. But one of the biggest struggles right now that I've been facing is working with big data sets like this. You know what I mean? And building out a Dash application to this scale is a unique process for me that I've never gone through. I have built out Django applications. I have built out some Flask applications. I've built out some React applications. But building out a Dash application to this scale is a new experience. And I am interested in the best way to work with data and store it. So what I ended up doing, and I'll kind of dive into this, and it's been a process that I haven't finished yet. And if you're downloading the data, if you're downloading from my GitHub right now, this is not updated right now. So this app is going to probably be a little bit slow, but I'm going to fix it soon. I just got a lot on my plate, so hang in there. This is just a first progress video on the code, so if you are not interested in any of the nerd stuff that is involved with coding, you can leave. Just, hey, drop me a subscribe, a like would be awesome. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, if you need to use the graph, I hope you enjoyed. It's all free. But for the other ones that are interested in kind of learning some stuff and kind of, this is just an introduction. This is not a finished project, okay? I just want to show you some cool stuff, okay? And then we are leaving. Okay, so for the cool stuff that I just want to show is the structure. The structure of this application is amazing, and I want to build it out a little bit better. But the good thing that I like about Django is like the way that you structure Django applications. You do it in a way so that you can easily access that data, and so that it's like only in related to its app. You know what I mean? So I've kind of started on that. It could probably use a little bit better file management, and I would love any suggestions. I want to automate my life as best as possible, but this is currently what I have right now. Is I have this main app file. So this app file, I'm going to just get rid of this on this right side. I could just do that by just using my shortcuts. So with that done, I'm going to pull up this app file. So here's this app file. So this apps.py file, this is the only file that's ever being called on. So this file is like the hub for the overall application. So in here, you know, like any Dash application, you will find the Dash component, which is a nav bar. So you can see like the components, which is just the layout of the overall application. And then we have a few calls that we make within our database to kind of pull on data as we need. So that's all that we're doing there. And then basically we're running the app right here. So that's what I love about this. And I think if you manage your actual assets and graphs properly, I think it changes the game for Dash, and that's what I'm going to encourage here. So this is going to be fun. All right, so this is only an introduction, so keep that in mind. This is not finished. It started, but you'll kind of see what I mean here. So I created this section of code right here. This is where I created this Redis server, which is basically, it's like just a Redis area that's storing my data. All right, it's hosting my data. It basically runs this script that will fetch the data, store it in this server, so whenever I run the application, it doesn't have to go through the process of fetching the data. The data is already there, and then boom, you get instant data. So that's the idea. It is a pain in the butt to work with if you aren't used to it. I kind of got the hang of it though, and it really wasn't too bad to set up, but for what I want to do with it, it's kind of complicated. So this is what I have for my own server, is the top one, okay? So you can see that what I am doing here is I'm creating this port. I'm making it into an int, and then I want to basically tell it to look at the operating system. Hey, see whatever this application is running on. So it gets that port. Usually it's going to be port 6379. Just automatic, just put that in. That's what I did there. And then it's basically calling on that port. So there's two keys that it's looking for. It's looking for to date and USA Today. So these are two keys that are going to hold the variable in a dictionary of an asynchronous response. An asynchronous response is a way to fetch data. It's a very advanced way to fetch data. But all you need to do is understand the template, copy the template, and then it's easy to use in your own applications. So that's what I have been doing, and it's been working phenomenally. But don't get too bogged down about like how it works right now. I will teach you, and I will recommend some really good resources for you to continue your education and learn more. But for right now, this allows us a way to fetch multiple data points at the same time. So if you want to do a layered graph, for example, like what I did on my time series graph, the way you want to do it is you want to fetch the date information off of the data point right here, which is this URL. You know, so I'm pulling data from https covid19.mathdro.id API, and then I have to provide the date that I want, right? So I'm providing each and every date that I want, which is, you know, all of the days that is requested by the user, okay? And then I'm returning that response in a dictionary, and this dictionary needs to be created and cleaned within this clean data. right here, this asynchronous clean data. So I could run, for example, I could run yesterday's, I could run 5 days from now. They're all being run individually. So I don't need to have, the first day finished on the 23rd, then it goes to the 24th task, and then it goes to the 25th task. No. It does the 23rd, the 24th, 25th, 26th, all the days requested tasks at the same time. So it's pulling on all their data at the exact same time, and then it's cleaning all their data at the exact same time, and then it's returning it back into our app. So it's the fastest and best way to set up your fetches and your pools whenever you are working with data. And I've seen an amazing performance in my Django applications. And in this is overkill, but it's important to learn. So I am teaching you, and we are going overkill because I want to make the fastest thing I can. So jumping back into that is how I've really set up my data. So this data is cool to work with in a Dash application. And this is the best thing about a layout like this. So I could go to whatever app I want, and I can go over here and I can run it, and I can run it individually. So whenever you're building out something big like this, you need to make sure it works, and you need to create tests, and you need to do all of that. It takes a while to build out the components that build out a big application like this, all right? So for me, the best way I did this is every single application, like especially in asynchronous, you set up an if underscore name equals name main, and then you can actually run a task that you just want to run whenever you run this file. So for me, I want to see what data I'm getting returned whenever I am pulling on these APIs and I'm doing all this cool data, science stuff, and I get returned this data frame right here. So here's the data frame of South Carolina, US, the longitude and latitude, and then that case specifically. And then I'm going down to the next one, and then the next one. So there are 3,416 cases. That's how many cases we have, and it's pulling all of those individual cases, their location that they're at, into one dictionary that we could actually work with. So with that, we throw this dictionary and we throw it into the API, and basically it builds our graphs for us. So this is the cool way that I've kind of structured it. And let's dive into the graphs. So this data that we have here is easily returned into our plotly renders. So this plotly renders folder that I created, if I want to go into layer D over here, if I want to run this, this is one that I built. I can go over here, I can run it. And this makes it so I can make more graphs off of the data that I have without actually bringing them into the overall application, because once it's done, it pulls it up right here. And then boom, you can individually work on and create your individual graphs, easily update your code. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, it takes me 2 minutes to update my code on my server. If I finish something and I'm done and I made like a new component, 2 minutes to update it on my server at this point. So you could create graphs this way, and all you're really doing is you're going in the code that you have in here, which is just running the specific app, and you're just editing just this. So once you compartmentalize, so you just have the graph here, you have the data here, you have this here, it makes it so much more easier to make sure that you are getting the best response better, because everything needs to work perfectly for it to work. So that's what I love about it. And there are a lot of other strengths that I'm looking to kind of bring into this project. So with that, this is what I have right now. I add more information in the GitHub in the link in the description down below. Check out my course if you want to kind of start learning about this, because this is going to take a little bit of time to learn. So start learning the course that I've already put out, because it teaches the fundamentals of some of these components and dashboards in general. And the idea is use data to create these dashboards, and use these dashboards to better your life in any way that you want. Like if you want to be an algorithmic trader and you want to, create these dashboards to read the markets and trade data and stuff, it's possible. It's hard as heck, but it is possible. If you want to use it to help the healthcare industry, oh, you could do it. I've done it, with what this is, but I've seen other people on Dash do even better things than me with AI, this is just touching the tip of the iceberg to what is possible with Dash and with creating with these tools, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to try to continue to push the boundaries to. Tell me what you think about what I have so far. Tell me about how the way I've kind of structured it, what you think, and just some first ideas, because I wanted to publish this as an introduction to just starting on the project. I've given it like probably a week or two that I've kind of put into this, probably a week into the project, and I like what I have, honestly, and I want to continue to push it forward before I actually release a course. So I'm going to release this as an individual course within the Dash application, course that I have on, Udemy. So if you aren't on that, jump on there because you'll get this. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, subscribe if you're interested in jumping on and learning some stuff. This is a crazy time, and I know that we are going to experience a lot of heartbreak, bleed, and everything else in between, but you need to take care of your own life, and I encourage that for anybody. The best thing that you can do is to continue learning new skills and to broaden out your education. So if you are a programmer and if you like data like this, and if you want to contribute in the medical field, everybody needs you. Like the medical field needs you. Jump in there, and with what is going on with the world around us, you can have a job. You can actually work. It's a lot easier to get opportunities if you know what you're doing and if you can build, create, and innovate. That's the biggest thing, and there's a lot of people that can't innovate with the new tools of society that we have now, and I want to push them as far as we can, especially with programming and with automation, and with the idea of being able to build out your own dashboards to tell stories of data on your own businesses, or to tell stories of data on videos or anything that you might be interested in. That's just power. That is an extra tool in your arsenal that nobody else has, that you can use to make sure that you have the best advantage possible to make the best impact in your life and in the lives of people around you. So with that, I hope everybody stays safe. Just stay locked up. It's not worth it. We're looking at the data. It's scary out there. Use this time to better yourself. That's all I suggest. Invest if you can, if you have the ability. If you can't invest with money, then you know what? Just invest with your education. There is so much free stuff out there, free educational material, and I have taught myself my whole career online by myself without anything other than just Google, and it's just been the best thing ever. So push yourself is all I got to say, and I wish everybody the best.